up your engine!
Well, here's a milestone. The first 2021 Ford Bronco base has rolled off the assembly line. Now, to me, this is the real test of the Bronco. Originally, they weren't super expensive vehicles. Of course, they're going to sell a whole range of them. But this is the base one that you can get for less than $30,000. It's not the fancy one. Now, there's only one problem with it is you can't get one yet. This is a pre-production model that they're building on the assembly line. It's built now, and they're testing it out. You're not going to be able to get your hands on one until June 2021. To me, this is a more interesting one because it's the lowest price one. It's a two-door one. It's got a four-cylinder engine. It's got a standard transmission. It is a 7-speed manual transmission. It's got that four-cylinder that puts out 270 horsepower. The base model, the basic one. Is it going to fly or not? People are always looking for lower priced trucks and SUVs. The base model's got a black hardtop and silver painted wheels. Steel wheels. Not the fancy wheels, plain old steel wheels. And if you really are serious about driving around stuff, a lot of times the steel wheels are better. They're strong, they get bent, you can bend them back. They're not super expensive alloy wheels that get destroyed. Now, it is a pre-production model. Like I said, people aren't going to get their hands on them until what they say, June of 2021. So it'll be a while till you can actually get your hands on one, but they've built it and are going to test them out. Hopefully they'll find the flaws that are in them and fix them before they start the actual production in mass for people. The base model, hey, if it's under $30,000, they might sell a whole bunch of these things. Just talking to my own customers, they're tired of these $60,000, $80,000 vehicles. They're looking for something that's more affordable. So after they test them out, let's see if they get the bugs out of it. It could be a big hit. The Genesis G70 2021. This is as new as you can get, right? Because it's still 2020. The G70s, some of them are being recalled because the ones that have 2-liter gasoline direct injections, the little engines that are all souped up to put out more horsepower, the jet's nozzle might have a plastic burr for the fuel pump that blocks it and makes not enough fuel that could stall out where you're driving around. Let's see. Here we go again. Plastic. A GDI system puts out a lot of pressure, sometimes thousands of PSI. What are they doing using plastic parts on that stuff? It's cheaper to make them. That's why. And they're all bragging about how great the Genesis is, and they spend a fortune advertising them as great luxury cars, yet the stupid pump has plastic jet on it. That's just crazy. You don't want to have a car that has insufficient fuel, especially if you're buying something like a Genesis. Everybody I know owns a Genesis. My customers drives like a maniac, drives fast. They buy them because they want a zippy car. And if it stalls out when you're on the road, bad things are going to happen on the highway, let me tell you. Maybe they should stop making really important parts like the fuel system and the GDI system with plastic stuff. Maybe with all that pressure, perhaps maybe stainless steel? Just a thought here. Well, EST says, what is the best full-size truck? Did not want a Ford. I had an Explorer. The 460 was a piece of crap. I know Rams are not good. I'm looking at a Silverado 6.2 and a Tundra. Go for the Tundra by 100 million miles. Now, the Silverados were great. If you go back to 1999, 2000, you go way back when just the plain old Chevy pickup trucks were excellent trucks, well made. Now, GM makes a load of crap. The Tundras can run forever. You're going to pay a little bit more for a Tundra. But then again, the Silverado big ones aren't cheap these days either. I've seen them $80,000 loaded up with stuff. So get the Tundra. You'll be happy listening to Scotty 10, 20 years later when it's still running. You'll say, wow, that was the best truck I ever bought. You pay a little bit more for the Tundras. But that's what you get, quality. Now, yeah, they don't tow as much as some of the American ones. But, my advice is if you're really towing, you need a diesel truck. Gasoline trucks, they get horrible gas mileage. They wear out faster. If you want to tow real heavy stuff, get a diesel. But you just want a regular pickup truck, get the Tundra. They can run forever with those V8 engines. Well, if you're into speed, you can get a Yenko SC Camaro with 1,050 horsepower. Now, they're only going to be making 50 of these things. They're authorized by GM, so they still come with the GM warranty. They use a 6.8 LT engine and a gigantic supercharger on top to supercharge it out 1,050 horsepower and 900 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot of power. Forged aluminum pistons. It's the real deal. It even has a rear differential cooler for the rear differential. They're souping these things up. Now, the only problem is it's not cheap. The pricing starts at $69,995. Here we go again. They want to keep it under 70 grand. $5 less than $70,000. You got to supply the car. They're going to modify it for you. They're only going to do 50 of them. So if you get a Camaro 1SS, you're going to fork out close to $40,000 for that. Then you give that car to the SVE guys, then they turn it into the fancy one that has 1,050 horsepower. And they say they're only going to do 50 of them. So the total is going to be like around $116,000 or more, and you end up with a fancy Camaro. So maybe you should just buy the Camaro and have somebody else soup it up for you. I'm sure they could soup it up for a lot less than $70,000. Well, here's a bit of interesting electric car news. Ford just announced that they're investing $1.8 billion to produce full battery electric vehicles in Canada, in Oakville, Ontario. I had a Ford Maverick ages ago, in 1970. It was built in Oakville, Ontario. It was a great car. I bought it for $550 and I drove the heck out of that thing. Then I sold it for $500 when I was done with it. They cut a deal there in Canada with the unions and everything for the labor, and they're going to make fully electric vehicles there. As it stands now, the Mustang E they're making in Mexico. As far as I'm concerned, probably not the greatest choice in the world. They got electric trucks they're working on in Michigan. They say that they're going to be making F-150s in Michigan in 2022. So now they're going to be making electric cars in Oakville, Ontario. They're setting it up there. I like the idea that they're staying United States and Canada. I've been a mechanic for 52 years. I've seen a lot of the vehicles made in Mexico. A lot of them were poorly put together. The quality just wasn't there. Even though a lot of times the parts come from other places. I mean, the engines and transmissions, and they just put them together in Mexico. But still, putting a car together is kind of a big deal. If you look at the problem GM has had over the years with their trucks having bad rear ends, the rear differentials would wear out. It was traced down to they weren't building them correctly in Mexico. They were not torquing them correctly. So they were coming off the assembly line with parts that were just not tight enough, so they would wear out too fast. Took a guy years to study to figure that out. He found out that they weren't building their rear ends correctly, so when they came off factory and they were brand new in your vehicle, they had the equivalent of like 50, 80,000 miles of wear because they were too loose, and then they're going to wear out faster. As cars age, of course, things get looser, right? Well, these things were loose from the get-go because they weren't building them right. So I'm not a fan of Mexican-made vehicles. I like the idea that Ford's going to be making these electric cars in Oakville, Ontario. And hello to my old friend Tony Hines from Oakville, Ontario. I think he's still in Toronto. Cavalier Chase says, Scotty, my mother wants to buy a 2017 Audi SUV with 42,000 miles for $25,000 from a friend. I told her it's a bad idea, but she's determined. Are they even reliable? Well, no, they aren't. But, I mean, if you have a bad relationship with your mother, yes, tell her to buy it, and then it'll fall apart and you can laugh at her. But if you care about your mother, try to tell her. Hey, give her Scotty's email and have her email. I would email her back. One of the worst things to do, that I had a neighbor with one who was a corporate lawyer who made 6 figures each year, and he got rid of it because he said it was costing him too much money to fix and it was unreliable. You don't want your mother driving that thing around. They're rolling piles of junk as they age. They cost a fortune to maintain. Every time you take it to the Audi dealer, they want money. It's such a snob place, it amazes me. I went to one once to get parts, and even the salesmen and the guys at the counter were wearing 3-piece suits, and they ignored me. And I said, this is a parts department. I want to buy some parts. They ignored me. It took me 45 minutes to find out that they didn't even have the part that I wanted anyway, because I came in my garage outfit. All they care about is, hey, we're going to kiss the heinies of our customers with our suits and then rip them off as they walk out the door. Just amazes me. I went in once and I put a part down, and the guy said, you can't put that part here, it's dirty. I said, isn't this the parts department and you sell car parts here? I said, this isn't the Shays Hotel, right? This is a parts department for cars. And he got mad because I put a dirty part on his parts counter. That's the kind of people you're going to be dealing with if you buy one of those things. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.